everybody. My name is Sofia Gómez. I am the current Academic Services Coordinator for Macmillan Education Colombia, and today I have the pleasure to talk about how to innovate your teaching practice in remote contexts. Well, let's get started. Why innovation? Well, most of us know the definition of innovation. According to the Macmillan's Dictionary, it is the invention or use of new ideas, methods, equipment, etc. You may ask yourself, if I've been doing things right all these years, why change? Well, let me tell you the story of Kodak. By the end of the 1970s, Kodak dominated the industry of analog photography. They controlled 90% of the American market for films and had up to 100,000 employees all over the world. By 1975, they had the opportunity to work on the new prototype of a digital camera, but they said no thank you because they thought it would threaten Kodak's main income. Do you know what happened? Well, other companies launched digital cameras and Kodak went bankrupt in 2012. I am not stating that teachers are going bankrupt if they don't innovate, but your students will definitely lose interest and motivation and engagement if you don't add a novelty to your classes. But you don't need to bring a whole new thing to your classroom. You can always use pills. These are the pills I've brought to you today. But why pills? Well, the idea about pills is that you can take them as dietary supplements. You don't replace food by taking dietary supplements. Instead, they add nutrients to your diet and they lower your risk of health problems. So the idea is that you should take them like dietary supplements. Remember, they don't replace your teaching and they add nutrients to your pedagogy. You take the ones you need at the moment you need them, and nothing bad will happen if you don't use them. Right? Well, let's start with the first pill, personal branding. This is a new marketing concept related to marketing strategies that a person adopts in order to promote his or her main personal characteristics. This personal branding is not only for celebrities and politicians, but also for people who want to make a great impact on others' lives. It's been defined as another thing what is truly unique about you and letting everyone know about it. And well, your brand is how you live in the hearts and minds of those in your market. The idea about building a personal brand is creating an interest in your students' hearts and minds. We pay more attention to what we're interested in. So what we want from our students is to pay attention to what we say in our classes. The first step is thinking of your students, parents, and the place where you teach as your market. Sorry. They then think of those things you are passionate about and include them in your classes. So, is it laughter? Do you like making your students laugh a lot? Do you like using memes? In my case, I love animals. So people that know me, they know I always include cats, dogs, fun animals in my presentations to make people laugh, maybe using memes, maybe using stories, a lot of things, maybe using stickers, right? That's how I include laughter. I also include quotes from time to time during my teacher training sessions. So believe me, these quotes will include like real language. Your students will be taking pictures, will be writing down these quotes in their notebooks. Or maybe it is the way you look. Do you like wearing nice hats? Do you like wearing different t-shirts, maybe really big earrings? Make a difference by adding something that you're really passionate about and bring it to your class. So your students will remember you and your students will keep you in their hearts and minds forever. They will always want to see you in each class. The second pill is a partnership. While some authors say that the secret of innovation is to collaborate with other companies, universities, and startups. What I'm telling you here is that you should bring someone new to your class and use different formats. You can involve parents, you can bring a guest, maybe a person that is not part of your class but part of your community to say something, to share something, maybe how to do a specific activity, right? Well, of course, a person that speaks English, and this person should be able to share knowledge. Or you can always record a video, right? Have a look to this a nice video of Rod today. Imagine bringing this video to your online writing systems class and asking your students to take a step inside a cello. How does the cello feel? What does it see around? It could be a totally different starter and it could motivate your students to write something from the cello's point of view. Nice, isn't it? Well, another dietary supplement is the real world feel. So it is all about bringing real stuff to your class, not the things we have brought since the 90s, like Bon Jovi songs, although I love them. Bring things that your students really need for their lives. So remember that, well, real things in the ELT world, we have this word called realia. So realia is widely considered to have a great value in fostering an active teaching and learning environment. Again, realia is everything that is real, taken from the real world. So maybe you should or you could tell your students how to eat better, right? As we are having classes at home and using virtual devices, using computers, using smartphones, you can easily take a picture of what you cook, or you can ask your students to show the class what they are cooking and that it is a healthy cooking. You know, we need to eat healthy in order to stay safe, right? Or maybe how to exercise. Exercise is really, really important to for our health, you know, or maybe mindfulness. Well, research has shown that mindfulness helps us reduce anxiety and depression. Quite an issue these days, huh? Well, some mindfulness activities that you can do in your classes are know your existence, attention to all the details, giving you compliments, moving your body, having a little music in your classes, stretching, right? Well, one activity I love doing during my training sessions is like asking how people in my session are feeling. How do you feel is the big question. For that purpose, I use two scales. Sometimes the dog scale, sometimes the cat scale. Now, before you start your synchronous sessions, you can anonymously ask your students how they are feeling using this 5 scale. Or, well, no, and if you don't want to do it anonymously, you can ask your students to say it aloud, to turn on their microphones and share how they are feeling. It is really important to highlight that every feeling is totally normal. If they feel upset, if they feel depressed, if they feel sad, if they feel bored, it's totally acceptable, right? Well, or you can also bring some tips for emotional agility. Well, I recently discovered Dr. Susan David's work. She proposes 3 steps to become more self-compassionate. I find this really helpful to improve your students' quality of life because, well, this image suggests steps to be more self-compassionate. One I really like is keep your eyes on your own work, meaning that you should never compare to others. Every human being is a different. Social comparison is detrimental, right? Here's another pill, the emerging perspective. So an emerging perspective is everything that is totally new out in the market. So you should be like always looking for new perspectives and methodologies, techniques, tips, tools that are in the market. One I've brought today is the iSearch. So iSearch is used to boost writing motivation in your classes. Quite a challenge because during online classes, writing is a process that is quite considered quite boring for some students. So let me tell you about iSearch. iSearch is the process of searching for answers to questions which have a personal meaning to the writer combined with a metacognitive review of the search process. Let's have a look in detail. So in the traditional research, students need to cover a topic. They need to find answers to some questions based on this topic. This research and this writing process is written in third person, right? And they need to be really objective, and they need to also objectively interpret facts, right? And it is a report of the results of the search, and it is a summary of information. And well, sometimes, or we usually find a lot of plagiarism because, well, students tend to copy words from other authors, and it is not like really meaningful for students. In the case of iSearch, it is more inquiry based because students are led and they're motivated by this feeling of what I know and what I don't know and what I want to know. It is written in first person and it is driven by the writer's need to know the answer and telling others this path they followed to find these answers, how they felt in this journey, telling their truths, right? Like, I found this, and then I found this other thing at the beginning. I knew this, and then I changed my mind. So it's something like quite more um, a way our writers will become involved by finding their own answers to their own questions. Well, another one is geolocation. So this is the identification of the geographic location of a user or computing device via a variety of data collection mechanisms. You can, for instance, use Google Maps to bring a real map to your virtual class, and you can ask your students to give real directions, show street view pictures, talk about places they have been and places they want to go. So it could be like maybe with asking to your students to say their favorite places, to the places they want to visit after this COVID thing disappears, and maybe the third places, maybe places others visited and you want to visit. So it is quite more fun than locating places in just a plain digital student's book, right? I bet so. And last but not least, here there is bring your own idea. So this is all about letting your students come up with ideas worth sharing. It is just like a tech talk of our experiences brought to class, right? So before you ask your students to come with ideas from scratch, I suggest you use this visible thinking routine. So this visible thinking routine will help you organize your students' ideas, what they want to share in your class. So first, ask your students to think about what they know, what they can do, and how they can do things differently in your English class or the class you're having with your students in English. So, for example, if they know how to do origami, right? And if they want to share their knowledge with the class, first thing, then you pair them up so they can compare ideas and they can say, yeah, it could work in this other way. And then ask them to share ideas with the whole group. You won't believe the amazing ideas your students will come up with. You will discover hidden figures. Well, and one last consideration. When using these innovation pills, always plan for regularity, quantity, and adaptability. That is, you are the ones who decide like the amount of times you use these innovation pills. You should always adapt it to your students' level, ages, interests, right? And of course, make sure your students enjoy your class. And keep in mind these last quotes. One innovation pill a day keeps the boredom away. So this is the bibliography I used with the references. Thank you very much. You can follow Macmillan Education on Instagram, Facebook, and I'll be glad to connect on LinkedIn. You can find me as Sofia Gómez. Thank you very much.